Hello everyone, it is 6:30 a.m. and I just wanted to announce and kind of self-congratulate myself on spending the entire night trying to beat AFK Journey, and I won't make this super long, but I kind of just wanted to show you guys what the end game, at least, well, the feasible end game looks like when it comes to AFK Journey. Now, the reason why I am talking about the end or the finish or me completing AFK Journey is because, as you can see here, there are no more stages to be had when it comes to the AFK stages. Now, of course, I will have access to another sort of, I guess, endless stage activity with the Trial of Abyss, but as it is right now, again, I don't have access to the final main quest, or maybe it's not even the final main quest, it's just the main quest called The Last Leg. However, as you can see right now, it is 1,125 quests that all have been completed. And right now I am gated behind the resonance. So there is literally nothing else for me to do. Today, as you could also see, not to brag or anything, but I also managed to beat up the wolf. And of course, this is not supposed to be a flex. I apologize, but I have not been able to tell you, to basically tell anyone about how excited I am. So this is kind of just my woo. Yay, like this was a really good day for AFK Journey. Wow, cool. Anyways, that's besides the point. Sorry, not to kind of talk about it too much. But I kind of wanted to show you guys what the end game for AFK Journey looks like. And of course, this is not my free-to-play account. This is the account that I basically started with, that I was really addicted to the game with, and I wanted to just push, and I kind of wanted to just give an overview for what my account has. Now, in terms of equipment, as you can see here, my support equipment here is, I believe, at the average of 212. My rogue is 214, mage 201, marksman 215, warrior 209, and tank at 210. If I were to kind of, I guess, explain anecdotally how I felt about each of the classes, it felt like the mage and warrior classes were kind of unnecessary, specifically to me. Now, again, I do recognize that there are certain classes or certain playstyles involving things like especially the mage class that actually does give a lot of value, but based off of how the initial tier list, or how a lot of people had initially been discussing the strength of the other classes, it felt like supports were really, really important. Now, again, whether that's increasing haste or just making sure that they don't die, there's an argument to be made about how impactful the support specific level, or the support equipment's level specifically was, or how important it was. I'm sorry, again, 6:30 a.m. But I do think that the ones that were kind of unavoidably important were the tank equipment, tied alongside the marksman gear and the rogue equipment. For me, I can definitely recognize why the rogue equipment might not be super impactful as well, especially if you aren't someone that kind of maxed out your Vala, but I was a very big Vala enjoyer, so that's what I did. But outside of that, I think that the two most important classes in the game, just in terms of what you likely had or what you had to upgrade for the purposes of progressing your account, were definitely the tanks and the marksmen. Now, again, if you take a look at the marksman, you have Ccia, who is really good for progressing through the story, but then you also have other random PvE content kind of DPS that are really, really significant, and that includes, of course, the Marley and the Odie, both of who are really, really good in Dream Realm, and also pretty respectable in whatever kind of trial content, or whatever kind of generally non-PvP based content that you could think of. Odie especially kind of ended up saving me a lot when it came to the later stages, and I kind of just needed to have a really strong frontline mauler composition with Odie, and then Odie would just execute everything. And he was also a blast to pick, especially against Igor, because otherwise my Vala was never going to kill Igor ever. So, that being said though, if I could do it over again, not that I really think it matters after a certain point, because you just kind of randomly got upgrades, but I would definitely prioritize upgrading marksman and tank, followed by support and then rogue, kind of equally depending on what you have, and then finally the last two, the mages and the warriors. Although I do want to make, again, special shout out to the mages. If you do have characters like Carolina, or I think his name is Ander, is that his name? Arden, that's what it is. If you have Arden, Carolina, these sort of characters upgraded earlier, I could definitely see a justification for upgrading mages, but from what I could tell, a lot of people were kind of not sold on Carolina initially, or saw that Carolina was a character that you could only really make super effective once you got to the Mythic Plus range. So a lot of people ended up upgrading their Theseus, which respectively makes sense for you to then upgrade the Marksman. That being said, though, I do have a lot of characters that are at Supreme Plus. That includes the Odie Supreme Plus, Thorn at Supreme Plus, Smokey at Supreme Plus, Coco wasn't Supreme Plus, Cecil was at Supreme Plus, Vala Supreme Plus, Rowan, Temesia, Viperion wasn't, Marley was Mythic, Like is Mythic, Rainer Mythic, Iron Mythic, and pretty much every other character below here is Mythic or Legendary. Now, again, in terms of how I was able to clear certain stages, and this is not supposed to be like a free-to-play review. I apologize. I know a lot of this is kind of pay-to-win and stuff. But strategies that I had seen that worked really well, actually, despite me not having a lot of the Wilders or even some of the Maulders until, the Maulers, rather, until much, much, much later, was things like Temesia and Vala, where you could kind of split their aggro and make the enemies kind of juggle between trying to hit your Vala, who then goes into stealth, or have Temesia, who would then, like, you know, get stalled or have enough stalled time to then activate her ultimate and then charge and CC and then kind of be annoying to hit. That was one of the combos that I managed to pair together that I felt was a good stall tactic so that Temesia didn't end up dying, and neither did Vala. And the two, in combination, usually with Thorin, was a very, or were, I should say, were a very terrifying trio. It let me stall a lot, and that was honestly my biggest, I guess, kind of savior when it came to trying to progress through the story and the AFK stages. That being said, though, I do acknowledge that Temesia, Thorin, and honestly even Vala as a trio is not very good in a lot of cases when it comes to Dream Realm. But I will say that prior to having a character like Odie before Mythic Plus or Coco before Mythic, it did feel like, again, just having the highest imprint characters on my team. That being Vala, who is the rate up banner character, Cecil, who you're guaranteed to get one character of or one copy of, and then whoever or whichever of my knights or tanks or whatever it is, highest level. That for me performed or outperformed any kind of combination involving Odie or Coco in the earlier phases of the game, just because, again, you know, Mythic plus Coco, or, you know, non-Mythic plus Coco, non-Mythic plus Odie before he gets his execute or his attack speed, kind of not really super excited or psyched for him. And for a majority of the game, I would say he was pretty much legendary, and Vala ended up taking his spot. So that was the characters and the gear. But in terms of things that I bought from the store, I have bought, admittedly, a few things here. I've probably spent well over maybe 4 or 5 million gold here. I spent a lot of the gold here specifically because after I had upgraded all of my artifacts to level 10, it doesn't feel like there's too much burden on your gold anymore. Specifically, the thing that I feel like you end up getting gated on, although it is during, at the level 100 range, it is upgrading these artifacts to level 10. What it ends up actually being, or what the bottle cap, or the bottleneck rather, ends up being, is of course the thing that all of you guys love. It's the powder. And as you can see here, I'm 800 off from upgrading mine as well. But you may also notice that actually the exclusive equipments were insanely important. Getting specifically Odie's exclusive equipment to 10 alongside Marley to 10, a lot of the earlier characters to 5. These were really, really helpful just because they gain new effects at the 5 and 10 range. But for specifically Odie, I felt like he was the most important for me trying to get more and more damage out and try to cheese certain stages out where I could just execute alongside like a Mauler composition. That for me meant that Odie had the most priority for me, and that's why he was specifically plus 19, as you saw. Now, also, you know, you're probably curious about how my arena and how my Dream Realm has been going. I'm not even the biggest whale on my server, which is insane because I do feel like I've spent a decent amount on the game. But like, take a look at this, right? This guy has got almost 3 times my power, or 3 times my performance. And he's got, well, that says 33 million power, and I'm at 10. So, yikes. For me. However you choose to spend your money is not is not my concern. But that's my dream realm, generally speaking, hitting the top 20 range and a little bit more. I pretty much did this at the start, or I did that specific dream realm run at the start of the day once the wolf came down, because the wolf from my server ended up dying, which is why, again, I got the title. But I wanted to get enough of a power up to then proceed and perform as usual. So that was my early power up, and I'll probably go back and see it. I usually end in the 20 to 15 range though, just because, again, some of the players above me are insane. But in terms of my arena performance, as you can see here, I'm in arena. I'm in the champion ranks for arena. I'm ranked 12, which is kind of cool. And again, there is no way in hell I am, or, there's no way I'm ever going to beat any of these people at the top, because that is 30 mil and I am literally 10. But that being said, I have been able to compete like relatively well. I've gotten the champion thing, and I typically stay in the champion range. Again, if I'm 20 in Dream Realm, I'm probably also in the 20 range for Arena, which is kind of just the way that your equipment and usually having imprints works. And beyond that, for Legend Trials, I am at the 71 range, or kind of 60 to 70 range for the floors, which is kind of nice. I haven't completed the Legend Trials though, so I'm missing out on a little bit of powder. But for the Arcane Labyrinth, I mean, this doesn't matter too much. I'm ranked 4, I guess, because I think I'm like one of the only people that managed to do the Labyrinth before, all the things reset and things of that nature. But also for battle drills, as you can see here, my guild is ranked number 7, which is cool. Let's go. Let's go, guild. Woo, yay! And we're doing pretty well, and we're performing, for our server anyways. But then, again, between all the different things that I've shown so far, I think the thing that I am maybe the most, I guess, like, confused about when it comes to the game is that despite me having all of these end game materials, these accounts, whatever, and it's kind of the thing that's been shining right here and I've been hesitant to open, is my inventory, because as you can see, you see the resources that I have in specific, but they're not here anymore. I was still getting chests that were like level 100 and 120, despite there being just a random chance for me to get level 200 equipment, which, might not be that big of a deal, but it just feels a little bit bad when I go to return to look at something in my account, and then all of a sudden I have 100 gear that literally means nothing because I forged all my gear already, or I have an infinite amount of forging material. And all of this, of course, is over a period of, again, me kind of stalling, trying to get new characters. Congratulations to me, I got a Muriel. But these are basically the resources after about, 2 or so weeks worth of playing. I've got a couple of imprints that I'm still missing. I've got a decent amount of the title essences, or like the essences in general, to upgrade my exclusive equipments. As you can see here, I don't even... What is this? I'm just going to quick recycle this. Like, why did I have a 125 sword in my inventory? I've got a bunch of like these rate up invite letters that I also have stocked up. But beyond all these things, guys, I'm probably still missing maybe a town quest, I think, or a town quest, something like that. Yep, I am still missing these, so I can get a little bit of powder to maybe increase the level of one of my characters. But that's kind of just a brief overview of what the end game of AFK Journey looks like at level 125. Again, this is not... Oh, I apologize. Again, this is not supposed to be something like a how to... is end game better for free to play or pay to win, whatever. It's just me showing off exactly what you get to see down here. Again, I'm pretty happy with the fact that I got this frame, and of course I've got all the imprints, but everyone can get the imprints. Not everyone can get the frame, which is why originally I was so absorbed in the game, because I just wanted to get a permanent title and a frame. But yes, that is the end game for AFK Journey. Again, despite me showing off all the things that I have in endgame right now, to be clear, that isn't to say that that's all that you will be able to do when it comes to endgame, because as you guys probably have seen through the previous videos that I mentioned, there's a Song of Strife, which is a seasonal, a monthly kind of content activity thing that we're going to be able to do for resources and for pulls and stuff like that, which is cool. But then also, of course, there's Trial of the Abyss, which hopefully allows us to get more of these stellar crystals, which would be nice because I want to get Rainer and stuff. And I do enjoy also playing PvP, especially the honor duel. But again, more content, more things to do, more fun, which is really cool. And I will be fighting or taking place in the Primal Bear Lord looking thing that'll be opening in 4 days. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, there's a lot of things on the horizon. A lot of things are coming out, and that's cool. I guess we will also we will be seeing Floribel coming out, or we'll be able to see her numbers and stuff in a couple days. But yeah, that's all I got for you today for AFK Journey. Thank you again for everyone who watched. Long story short, I think the AFK Journey experience is pretty grindy, but it's challenging enough that I can definitely I could definitely see myself spending like a couple hours like a day, not just dedicated to chores, but for me to try and to try and figure out how to beat a stage that I've been stuck on for the past few days. But anyways, guys, yeah, long story short, if I had to rate the entire experience I've had for AFK Journey right now, the early couple days, I definitely say it's a 9 out of 10. After all the bottlenecking and being stuck by powder, I'd say it's maybe a 7.5, maybe 7 out of 10 now at this point, just because I feel like a couple things don't really make sense. I'm getting a bunch of useless materials in some cases, and it feels like powder should be a little bit more readily available. But that's gonna be it. Like I mentioned, guys, hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. I hope this teaches you guys something. I hope you learned something. In any case, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. See you guys. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.